Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Chevy Boy back on the channel, and we are back on Need for Speed Pro Street. We're gonna go to the Tokyo Expressway 2 map, or the race day, excuse me. And um, so basically, what we're doing here is this is gonna be my 500 subscriber special, and this is a video about why I don't want Need for Speed Underground 3 and why I absolutely hate the idea. And sorry, there was junk on my screen. And why I just I never played the games as a kid, you know. Um, so I don't understand the appeal of those games, you know. Because like I said, I never grew up with them as a kid. I never played. I mean, the first Need for Speed game that I played was like in 2006 or 2007. When I was around the age of 13 or 14 on the PS2, when I'd go over to my grandmother's house, you know, sorry, when my uncle was babysitting us, me and my sister for like a week or whatever in the summer, you know, because my mom and dad both worked for a shift, and yeah, so anyways, I mean, the first Need for Speed game I got into was Most Wanted, and yes, okay, when I played Most Wanted, I instantly gravitated towards the Cobalt, but not because of four-cylinder life. It was because of the fact that the Cobalt SS from 2000, like 4 and 2005-ish, or '05 and '06-ish, was supercharged four-cylinder, and they only went to turbocharging after like '07, I think, for the SS model. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Um, so there's that. Sorry for the long loading screen, you guys. Um, But yeah, no, and then I played a little bit of Undercover on the the Wii in like '09, I think. And this Plymouth Cuda, you guys may remember this from when I built this originally for EK Drifter 458. Basically, I put the Panda logo, just on the rear quarter panel. I kept the hot pinks, Terra marks, and the cross or the X on the doors is supposed to be, and yeah, it's a B5 blue, but the X on the doors is supposed to be representative of the Scottish flag. So yeah, no, Frank, if you do end up watching this, I hope you enjoy it just for that alone. I don't know. I thought the Cuda could need a little bit of a change, and I was like, you know what, I'll do this for him. So, um, and it runs tens because, and you guys may notice the difference between the exhaust or the engine note that it had, when I had the car stock, and when I had the car upgraded, maxed out stage 3 engine, because the stage 3 engine, has a more generic tone to it, and the stock engine note is more, realistic and aggressive. So, but anyways, yeah, no, like, I mean, I think the only American cars that you could have in Underground, I think the only one was the Dodge Neon SRT4, and that's not a muscle car. You guys know that I love my muscle cars. I mean, I love Mopars. I love some Ford muscle cars too, but I'm mainly Ford, mainly Mopar and Chevy. Mainly GM and Mopar is my bread and butter here. Or at least that's what I really enjoy. I understand some people don't like muscle cars because, they still believe the outdated stereotype that they're fat, slow, and heavy. But it's funny because, people, they automatically go for comparing classic American cars to 90s JDM cars, 90s Japanese cars. The problem, though, is I feel like they're too scared to compare 90s American iron to 90s Japanese cars, because 90s American iron makes more horsepower than the Japanese cars do with turbochargers on their four cylinders and stuff. This is naturally aspirated V8s, and they have a lot better handling capabilities. But you don't see that. You don't see people go, oh, well, my RX-7 could beat your fourth generation, 96 Camaro Z28 in on a trek, through corners. Why? Because they know probably that the power difference would, cost them the race dearly. Um, but I mean, that's not the point of this video. Basically, the point of this video that I'm trying to make is the fact that. Oh wait, is this the wheelie comp? No, okay, this isn't. Okay, no, this isn't the wheelie competition. This is the top speed run in my Corvette Z06. But anyways, no, enough of that. No, so the video mainly is about why I don't like Underground 2 and Underground 1, and why I don't want Underground 3 when guys like LP Ripper, Born 1.5, and the Clap Train, as I like to call him, or Slap Train, because he's an STD. Yeah, I don't know. But, and, Black Panther, who still, I believe, is cocky and, full of himself, but whatever. Anyways, they all want Underground 3. Like, the problem is the car list is so, like, compared to Pro Street and Carbon, the car list is so focused on imports that you'd be alienating, 2/3 of your audience. Yeah, you know what, you guys may look at Payback, the four of you guys may look at Payback and go, oh, Payback's garbage because, it's not Underground 3, it's not what we asked for, whatever. You know what? I don't care if it's not Underground 3 because it has the diverse car list that I was looking for. It has the muscle cars that I was looking for. Yeah, there's one or two omissions, mainly being the 68 GTO that, for the most part, I think a lot of us thought was going to be in the game, but it wasn't. So they, compensated and gave us a 77 or 78 Pontiac Firebird, the Bandit Trans Am, as a DLC car for like $3 or whatever. I think it was like $2.99. But yeah. But anyways, like, the car list is so concentrated with imports. You're alienating your fan base. You're alienating a bunch of your fan base. And I get it. Underground 2 came out when the Fast and Furious, the import scene was still popular. But I mean, I grew up, watching the Fast and the Furious. And yes, okay, I instantly fell in love for the Eclipse at the very beginning, and the Civics looked kind of cool. But then when Dom pulls out of his garage in that 1970, big block Charger, that blown big block with 900 horses of Detroit muscle, this is my 998 horsepower Pontiac GTO. But yeah, anyways, no, when he pulls out in that Charger, like, I completely was like, imports? What are those? I instantly went, wait, this thing is cool. I really like this car. Yeah, no, and in these races, like, that was not me. Pretty sure that was the game's physics. I mean, no, it was probably me, because, like, I jerked the stick, one way, and it rolled over. It'll roll over again, as you can see, in the next round. But I mean, this thing's capable of 800-900 wheelie or foot wheelies. So, and it runs pretty quick. I think it runs like low 7s, high 6s or something. So it'll beat Clap Train's Supra from hell in the drag race. But anyways, or it'll come pretty close to it. But anyways, yeah, no, like, okay, so basically, like I was saying, before I keep getting off track, but the game, like, I just didn't like it because, Underground 1 and 2, the car list wasn't diverse. There wasn't something for everybody. It was solely focused on the time, the fad of the time, which was the Fast and the Furious. And that's my problem, is because, and I turned too sharply here and it killed me. I fixed that the third time here. But yeah, no, it just, you alienate fans. When I played Carbon, I was like, dude, thankfully they brought more muscle back. You know, I was looking forward to cars like the '67 Camaro SS350 and the Hemi Cuda, and the '69, B-body Charger. I mean, that's what I want, with my games. And you guys are like, oh, underground, underground, underground. Screw underground. No. Just no. And as for the customization, you guys are like, oh, underground had great customization. Payback has better customization than Underground does, than Underground 2 does. Specifically, Payback has better customization than Underground 2. Why? Because Underground 2 had like 10 body kits that, yeah, you could mix and match and stuff. But that was the problem. It only had 10 body kits, and 99% of them looked ugly. That game is about forcibly ricing. Yeah, 531 feet, I think that is. No. The Underground 2 is about forcibly ricing your Japanese car. And I'm pretty sure that Underground 1 was the same way, but like I said, I didn't play it. I will never play either of those games. The only reason I know about Underground 2 and what it has in it is because I watched the Clap Trains, play through when I first found YouTube in like late 2014, early 2015. But yeah, no, no. I don't want another Underground game. Just because the customization was bad. I mean, even Auto Sculpt in Carbon was better. Even Auto Sculpt in Undercover was better than the body kits that you get in Underground. Again, forced ricing. No. Absolutely not. No. And, like with Payback, you can take a 69 Charger and swap it over to a 68 Charger with the rear, tail light panel and the front bumper, the grill area. You can do the same thing. Shoot, you can take, you could take a 1970 Plymouth Cuda and turn it into a 71 Cuda with 73 taillights, for crying out loud. You can mix and match parts like that, yes. But it's different model year parts. It's not just some rando, ugly body kit. And I'm glad that they put more customization into the muscle cars because, all the import cars, especially with like 2015, all the import cars got, Liberty Walk and Rocket Bunny kits and stuff. And the muscle cars, for the most part, only consisted of, the classic muscles only consisted of the 65 Mustang, which was the Unicorn, and I don't care about the Unicorn because I'm not a Ken Block fan, not at all. And the 69 Mustang was basically a RTR kit or whatever, and if I remember right, those were the only classic muscle cars in that game, were the, oh yeah, my 70 Challenger, but those two cars were the only ones in that game that in NFS 2015 that were classic muscle cars. I was glad to see, cars like the Fox Body Mustang and the GNX, cars that I'd never seen in a Need for Speed game, aside from, the Fox Body in 2015. But I mean, I was glad to see the GNX come back because I had never seen it in the Need for Speed games that I had played. I was glad to see the C6 Corvette, the C7 Corvette, the 67 Camaro SS350 come back into not undercover, into Payback. I was glad to see the Cuda come back from, Carbon, Pro Street, and Undercover. I was glad to see the Charger come back, and you'd be able to, again, mix and match parts like that. Model year parts, manufacturer parts, not random ugly body kits. And as far as everybody screaming, Underground 3, Underground 3, Underground 3, we need Underground 3, you've been screaming that since Rivals came out. At least. You know? And I feel like you guys yelled at Ghost a lot, you know, when 2015 came out. You're like, you know, this will be great, this will be just like Underground 3, you know, but then you yelled at Ghost later because it didn't have the Underground 3 stamp on it. You know, it didn't have the name on it. What's in a name? You know, to quote Shakespeare, is a rose by any other name still not a rose? You know, I mean, is Underground 3 without the Underground 3 name on it not Underground 3? I mean, for crying out loud, Carbon was more like Underground 3. You know, because of the fact that it had the muscle cars and stuff, but it mainly had circuit racing, drifting, and outrun races of a sort. You know, point A to point B, short sprint races between you and a computer AI player like they did in Underground 2. You know, they didn't have drag races. They didn't have force racing. I mean, you know, you could race your cars out, but they had a bigger car customization. They had a bigger car selection to customize, which I was very grateful for. You know, but you guys are screaming, oh, you know, we didn't ask for Break to Drift crap. Okay, I get it. You know, you guys were like, oh, well, we don't want another game like Payback. We want, you know, Underground 3 again. You guys got it. Whether you guys choose to admit it or not. 2015 was the truest successor to Underground 3. Why? Because it was a reboot of the franchise that went back to its tuner roots. Whereas with games like Hot Pursuit 2010, you know, Hot Pursuit 2010 is closer to the roots of Need for Speed than Underground is. And for those of you that are saying, oh, you know, you're not a true fan of Need for Speed because you don't know what the roots of Need for Speed are. No, I do know what the roots of Need for Speed are, because of the fact that the roots of Need for Speed are not Underground. They are the Hot Pursuit, you know, cops versus racer era. You know, no pursuit tech, you know, none of that garbage. It started out, you know, as kind of like a racing sim, you know, with the early Need for Speeds, but like Hot Pursuit 2, you know, games like that, they focused on cop chases. You know, they focused on cop chases in an open world, kind of like what Hot Pursuit 2010 did. You know, but you guys didn't want that twice, you know, in a row. And sorry for the driving line. I don't know why the driving line was on. I turned it off. But anyways, you know, oh, and by the way, really quick, that like 3,000, like 3,500 score or whatever that I got in the drifting, Slap Train couldn't even get that at the dockyard, so suck it. Like, you couldn't get that with a Supra, and I got that with a 1970 Challenger that made 700 horse, so suck it. Sorry, making a dig because I can. But anyways, yeah, no, you guys don't know what the roots of Need for Speed are. I didn't play, you know, Underground. Like I keep saying, I didn't play Underground. I didn't play the old Hot Pursuit games. I didn't play those games. I started out, you know, with 2005 and ended with 2008, you know, in those games. My favorite games from this series are tied for three are tied for first place: Pro Street, Carbon, and Payback. Even though I haven't played Payback yet, from what I've seen, I am chomping at the bit. All I need to do is find a job. But nobody, you know, has job openings that will accommodate me with my disability. But that's not the point of this video. Again, I absolutely loathe, not love, despise you people that are looking through rose-tinted glasses at the Underground era and are saying we need it back. No, we don't. You got it with 2015. You got it. Yeah, it had Break the Drift. Yes, it had wonky physics, but you got it. You got your cheesy, story. Yes, Payback's story is not a masterpiece either, but it's... Payback is not supposed to be an underground game. Payback is more closely related to Most Wanted, Carbon, and even Pro Street, with the Easter eggs of Cross, Wolf from TFK, and Aki Kimura from Pro Street. Aki is also, the one of the Drift. He runs one of the Drift disciplines. In Payback, he runs one of the Drift crews called Noisebomb, because Noisebomb was a team, in Pro Street. So, yeah, I know my thoughts are very incoherent, but basically, I don't want Underground back. I don't want it back. And you guys keep screaming for it. You guys are like, we want Underground, we want nighttime only, we want no cops, and we want forced racing of only tuner cars. Then go play your stupid Underground, or go play your stupid 2015. Because it's pretty much what you got. Aside from the Outlaw Path, you got Underground. Shut up. Don't care, what you guys want. You guys are probably going to make Ghost die. Like, Ghost, Rivals was made when Criterion was about to die, and Ghost was just starting. That's why it was so crappy. They probably only had like 6 to 9 months to develop that game. 2015, they had 2 years. Ghost tried. Ghost looked at the feedback. Ghost looked at Black Panther's videos, for crying out loud, more than likely, and said, you know what? People want Underground. They looked at Slaptrain's videos. The people want Underground. Okay, fine. We'll give them Underground, but with a new twist on it. You guys were like, yeah, no, this game's amazing. But then when the janky physics got in the way, and you guys were like, oh, this isn't identical to Underground. This doesn't have the Underground name on it. This isn't what we wanted. It's not... The only reason it's not what you wanted is because it doesn't have the Underground name on it. That's literally the only reason. There's no other reason except for that. Most Wanted 2 in 2012. The reason that it wasn't Most Wanted to me wasn't because, of that reason, that it was the game that I wanted, it just didn't have the name on it. The reason I don't play that game is because it's not the game. It has the name on it. It has the name on it, and it suffers from the opposite problem. It has the name on it, it's nothing like the original game. You guys are just whining and moaning because 2015, doesn't have the name, but it is the game. Payback is a mix between Carbon, Most Wanted, and Pro Street. Half of the people that disagree with me, they're like, oh, it's not, because, it's nothing like those games. Actually, it is, because it has the street crews, the style, from Carbon. It has the disciplines, like from Pro Street. It has the cops, more or less, from Most Wanted and Carbon, just without, the cooldown spots, and stuff like that. Like, free roam cops, fine. And to be completely honest, I kind of like the cops the way they were in Payback, because of the fact that it didn't force you to, have to deal with the cops. You could choose with the bait crates, but, nobody else shares my opinion. But again, just to summarize, I don't like the thought of Underground 3, and I've never played Underground 2 or the first one, because of the fact that you are only stuck you're stuck with only import tuner cars, forced ricing of import tuner cars, and just I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. It's forced ricing, it's imports only, and that's not what I want. That's not what I want. And if that is what Ghost comes out with, in 2019, I'm done. I'm done. Like, you guys are taking Rachel's 350Z as an omen, as a good thing? No. I'm taking it as an omen of the death of my time with Need for Speed. This is Chevy Boy signing out. Peace, y'all.